morning, everyone. We'll get going here in just a minute.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, good. Just making sure.
Still in the car.
I had 2 pairs of AirPods. I was making sure I had the right one on.
Well, you do look like you're in a hostage situation.
I'm coming to you from a mobile studio today.
Blink twice if you need help.
I'm crammed in the back of a van.
All right. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can disconnect audio here. Okay. That did not work out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, that was an interesting little beat you had to throw down for us this morning.
It made my dog mad. All right. Actually, I'm going to be in a hostage situation. Hold on 1 second. All right. So, yep. See, full. We're both going to be in hostage mode today.
Yeah, this is a sketchy situation right from the start. Well, good, because it mixes it up a little bit. So happy Monday, everybody. Morning, Don. So I'm coming to you from my car, actually my wife's car. I took my son to school today, so I am right outside drop off. So there's where we are. So we're gonna have fun today. Well, you are in a terror situation. We're gonna have to invest in a light for you there, Mr. Puma.
My phone is so much better, but I need to be able to share my screen from the computer. So we're in a crossroads right now.
Good. All right. Well, here's what I was thinking about. This is gonna be an interesting little banter. And Craig, you're willing to chime on in if you feel like joining this little party here. We're talking about when Puma asked me, "What do you want to talk about today?" My initial reaction was, what does everybody really need to hear today to make this the best week they've ever had in their entire life? And so that's kind of said, I said, I'll get back to you in a minute. I'm just thinking. And then it was, you know what? We got to learn to think a little bit bigger, right? And then I found myself caught in that trap of BS, right? Because it sounds right. Think bigger, get some goals, go do the whole thing. But it just doesn't work, right? Just doesn't work. Or you're supposed to come up with a goal. You can get a little vision board. You need to get a picture of a vacation in a car and all those things. But that's really step 2, right? And it doesn't work. And most people jump straight to step 2 and forget about step 1. So what I want to just banter back and forth about today is I want you guys to really think about this for a second. Because how do you have, first of all, you need to know what your best week ever looks like, right? Or what your best month, what your best quarter. Like, what is it out of control, game changer, crazy thing that can happen to change your life? Because if you haven't recognized yet, this business is life changing. Right? You can meet one person today, right? That will introduce you to somebody who will start a business relationship that will change your life. Right? We're lucky. We're very fortunate. You need to be grateful that that's the situation that you're in. Right? You have no clue. Right? But if you're not making any contacts, you're dead. But if you are making contacts, you have the opportunity to meet somebody who will change your life today. And that's what I think we need to start with, the foundation of gratitude, that we even have the ability to go do that. Now, will you? It's up to you. Can you? Absolutely. Are most people? No. Are a lot of people? Yeah. So you get to decide which bucket you're going to be in today. And it's about going out to talk about it. But that's all nice. And it's true. And it's part of the whole deal. You got to be grateful for the opportunity. But what is that? The opportunity for what? To go meet somebody, to give you opportunity to create a big transaction, to give you money for what? Right? For what? And then you scratch your head and you're like, my car's fine. House is fine. Our vacation is fine. I know we don't take big ones, but I'm busy. And you justify all the stuff that you're doing. You're fine. And you'd like to, but you don't. Right? So how do we get through to unclutter whatever's going on inside of here to get you to the next level? Because let's go with some universal truths for a moment. Is this the best real estate market that we've ever possibly seen? And a lot of you haven't been doing this for a very long time. But for those of you who have been doing this for a long time, I'd love for you to chime in with your answer on this one. Is this the best real estate market that we've ever seen? And I'm going to argue the answer is yes, right? With a resounding yes. I've never seen more large streams of money pouring into an area ever before in my entire life, right? John's chiming in, yes, it is. We've never had interest rates. You're fixed rates in the high 2, low 3%. Hell yeah, Lauren, saying on this one. High 2s, low 3% fixed rates, 15% down investment programs, 15% on renovation loans. And guys, the lenders haven't even opened back up the cool programs yet. I was talking with Grow. They're about to unleash their 100% down plan again, right? For conventional. That's unbelievable. When that happens on top of what we have right now, it's unbelievable. Okay, so we need to understand it. And that's why we're pushing you so hard right now, to get to the point of clarity. And I don't care if the clarity is to stay where you are. That's fantastic, right? Jackie, at 2.3% interest, Jackie's right now. So just understand the opportunities that we have. So now we're like, okay, let me go get that new whatever it is that you want. That's not going to work. And I started thinking about this morning as I was sitting here before this class started, saying, what's the real issue? Because guys, that's what keeps us up at night. Because when I look at you and I talk with you and we coach with you, and we see so much, right? So much more than a lot of you see. Yeah, even if you're crushing it, there's so much more. And what do we have? I mean, number one agent in the Century 21 in the world last year. That's cool. Every one of you can go do that. It's just a matter of talking with people, but it's about the drive of, do you actually want to? And the reality is, for most people, it's no, and that's perfectly fine and it's good. So it's not about thinking big, because originally this topic was, we need to think bigger, and how do we think big, which we could talk about because I know how to do that. But before that, we need to realize what the big problem is. And the problem is not thinking big. The problem is this little thing going on inside of our head right now, right? Puma, you had an issue.
So
Can we talk about one? What's that?
it's so powerful. Like, I think we underestimate how powerful our brain is when it comes to being able to control what we do and the actions we take. It's unbelievable in both directions, good and bad.
Mostly bad. Mostly bad. Your brain is not your friend. Your brain hates you. Your brain thinks you're fat. Your brain thinks you're stupid. Your brain thinks you're lazy. And your brain thinks you do not need a new car. Your brain thinks you don't need a new house. Your brain thinks you don't need any more that you have. And that's what you're living with, guys. We have it in front of our head. It's in our head all day long, every day, your whole entire life. It is not your friend. It is designed to destroy any ambitions you ever possibly have, right? So let's acknowledge that for a second. It's here to destroy you. It wants to make you leave the business and go live somewhere under a quiet bridge and an overpass in a farmland where there's nobody around you and no threats in the world. Because your brain's only job is to keep you breathing, keep your heart pumping. That's it. And to keep you from doing something stupid. which is an interesting point I want to get to. Because the moment you try to do something stupid, what does your brain do?
What's out?
It flips out and it shoots out cortisol, right? It's just a stress hormone designed to shut down your world, to stress you out, to basically make parts of your body shut down, to make you so uncomfortable that you stop your stupid behavior. That's what it does, right? So here comes Puma. You know what? I'm going to go get this private island. The brain goes, shut the, you know what up. Do you know that there's tsunamis? Do you know that you have to get there on a boat or a plane? Do you know boats sink? Do you know planes crash? Do you know that what if there's a wild coyote out there? That's the dumbest thing in the world. Do you not love your kids? Is there something wrong with your house, you idiot? Right? This is all subconsciously going on to his head right now. And he's like, oh, that would be nice, but geez, I never really thought about these risks. And then he moves on to another thing and goes back to his house. Right? And then you watch a great YouTube video and you're like, you know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go see that pool. I'm getting that pool. And then you make a phone call and you talk to a pool guy, you realize it's a really expensive pool. And then you're like, I don't really need that. Right? This is, guys, it happens every single day. This thing inside of our head is designed to squash and kill every single one of our dreams. How about that for a nice motivation Monday morning? Right? This is the reality of what's going on right now. So you're like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to call all the absentee owners. I'm going to get 50 of them. I'm going to get 10 listings. I'm going to get 10 listings. That's going to give me $70,000 closed by the end of the year. I'm going to have a kick-ass New Year's on a yacht. Right? And then all of a sudden your brain goes, no, you're not. It's not going to happen. You're not going to call absentee owners. They're not home. They don't want to talk to you. If they wanted to sell the house, they'd sell the house already. You haven't even sold a house in Shady Acres. Right? What are you talking about? You're not going to do that. You don't need 70 grand. Are you kidding? That's more than the most of the household incomes in the U.S. You greedy pig. Why don't you just sit back, munch some Cheetos, smoke some weed, binge flick some Netflix? No one's looking. You're on your own today. Have some fun. Right? That's what's going on inside of our brains right now. So what do we do? How do you combat it? What do you do? Sports.
Well, I think you've gotta find that switch, right? And that's going to be different for every single person. But once you're committed to that goal, you will do anything to achieve it. And so, you want me to play the clip?
Not yet, because I don't think that that's true. Right? I think in reality, it gets there to get committed to something, and then it finally happens. But the levels that you have to jump, the hoops you have to go through to reach the almighty committed level is ridiculous, right? You've got to go through so many layers of doubt, fear, anxiety, and stress, and disbelief, and just cutting down your abilities and your skills and the insults your brain tells you nonstop just to squash your dreams. Let's be real, guys. That happens. How many of you wanted to go and do something at the gym this morning and didn't? Like, you actually thought about it last week, like, this is the week, right? And it's the same thing you said last week and all that stuff. Everything gets in the way, and they're all right, and it's all perfect justification. And it's absolutely the right thing. How many of you really wanted to start that new lead gen system at the beginning of this quarter and you didn't? How many really had the goal to hit 50 absentees last week and you didn't? Even if you got 4, it's not 50, right? How many of you started, you might have actually gone on a program and you might have sorted a little bit and then you got sidetracked because you never had the level of commitment. You just didn't. Now, you got closer than other people ever did because you took some steps, but you never reached full commitment. When you get to the level of commitment, it's the decision, right? It's the visualization of when you decide to take the island, right? You have to burn your boats, right? If you're going to go over and you're going to go take something, you got to take away all of your exit plans. You got to take away your safety nets, and you got to go all in and say, that's it. That's the only time you're committed. 100%. There's no way out. If you're like, I'm really going to give this my all, and if this happens for me by the end of the quarter, I'm going to do it. If not, I'm going to go do something else. That's never going to happen. There's no commitment. It's never going to happen to you until you go 100% all in. But we have to be realistic about the forces that are against us right now and for your entire life, but especially now, because let's face it, guys, none of us have to do anything, right? Most really, the reality of it is today, if you didn't do anything, not one person on this call is going to die. Right? There's not one person that's going to starve. There's nothing bad is going to happen to you if you don't generate a transaction today. True story, right? Not going to happen. Nothing bad will happen to you if you don't. Okay? That's the biggest problem we have right now, because the things that can happen to you if you do aren't exciting enough. Think about it. Think about the things that happen if you don't. That's sometimes a little bit more of a motivating factor, because if we go today without doing something, no one's going to notice. Tomorrow, no one's going to notice. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, probably no one's going to notice it. Next week, might be able to skate around. You might start answering some questions. Well, what are you doing? A few weeks from now, someone's going to start noticing. You're not going to be on any of the hot sheets, that's for sure, right? You're not going to have any pendings, so your manager's going to start noticing, right? Your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, dog, parakeet is going to start to say, what are you doing, right? And then, a couple months from now, you don't have a deal, right? You're going to start noticing. And then if you are relying on income, you're going to start getting notices about your cable being cut off and your Wi-Fi being cut off. And your credit cards being maxed, and all those things will happen as a result. And that's when it starts becoming noticed, right? Or gets cut off and your Wi-Fi gets disconnected. You don't have money for gas in your car. Right now, of course, I'm taking this to an extreme, but I think I'm making my point, right? Nothing's going to happen until leverage happens to make something happen. Because today, no one's Wi-Fi is getting cut off. No one's not going to eat. So you have to say, what do I need to do to get myself to make it happen, right? You might not be living a glamorous, amazing, kick-ass life, but you're alive. You're safe. You've got something to eat. You got a roof over your head. You got sheets. You got some clothes. You're richer than most people in the world, right? This is the challenge that we have on the really? Why are you going to go do something uncomfortable today and you're going to make a video, right? You hate making videos. You don't like the way you look. You don't like the way you sound. You're not egotistical. You're not super pretentious. Who can help and make those videos? Why would you even do something like that? Right? You see the internal chatter battle that we have going on. So that's the issue, right? And I love when we're talking about sports, right? Because it's such a cool analogy. And then when we just got back from the top agent retreat, Margaritaville, with the top guys, these guys are true rock stars, top percentages of agents in the entire industry. And if you look at the common thread, it's a sport to them. It truly is a sport to them. You know what? I'm going to go win. Why? Because I want to go win. I like the way winning feels. I like the things that come as a result of winning. It's a sport. It's a game. I'm going to go get 4 listings this week. Why? Because I've never gotten 4. I only got 3. I'm going to go get something that's $3 million. Why? Because I never did anything over $1.8 million. Right? It's a sport. It's a game. It's something. It's the visualization. It's what are you going to do as a result as it comes, and it's got to reach that commitment level. But what the top agents have done already is realize that they've been through all the crap, right? Because the top agents sucked at one point, right? They were bumbling, mumbling, fumbling, screwing up deals, getting in trouble, having agents call Craig and me and help them through things, and they didn't know crapola. Everybody sucked at some point. Right? Even a top agent sucks right now, going to a different level because they're not good at that. They don't have any skill at that level. Tom Brady's an amazing quarterback. He sucks at kicking a ball, right? If he were to have to go in and be the field goal kicker this weekend, he's going to suck, right? Because he hasn't ever trained and has a skill set for that specific goal. But he's good at what he does because he's practiced that specific skill because he likes the results that come from winning. Right. So that's somewhere in there is an issue. You were talking about a cool visualization aspect because we've got to picture one last thought before we get into that. Visualization is a huge thing because that's the only way to battle your brain. Okay? That drunk monkey, whatever you want to call it inside of your head, is designed to shut you down, cut you out, squash all of your hopes and dreams because they're really not important. They're not. You don't need them. You don't need it. You don't, and your brain's right until it's wrong. And the only way to make it wrong is to get emotionally charged about something that's more powerful than the bullshit that's coming out of your brain. My sound's going in and out. I don't have good sound going on here.
Yeah, it's just not matching up to your mouth sometimes, but I mean, I can still hear you. It's just
So hear me? Okay.
kind of goes in.
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a little bit more clear.
Is that any better sound wise?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Lauren says yes, but let me find out. Kim saying yes to everybody. All right, so we'll try that. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, well, I'll just chat normally then. All right. So basically, I was talking about the visualization situation has got to become powerful than all the bullshit that's going in your brain, right? That's the biggest issue that we have right now. So what do? Right? If let's say you want to get a new car, everyone's talking about the new Hummer, right? And the new cars that are coming out. Not everybody, but people around me, because I actually think about getting a new car. And I start looking around for new cars, and I don't need a new car. My car's just fine, but I want a new car, right? So you start to look about what's important, then you have to start visualizing it. You have to start picturing what do you want to do. You actually have to really see it or feel it or smell it or get emotionally attached and say, you know what? Look, Puma, you just got a new car. It's got a badass video camera on your rear view mirrors. You don't need that, but it's cool, right? It's got all the different features that it has, but you had to think about that visual. Then you get, you know what? I could picture myself in this. This is right. This feels right. This looks right. It smells right. I deserve it. I feel it. Well, we'll talk about it. I deserve it in a second, right? Because sometimes that's a battle you have to go on through also. But you get to the point where you're like, I want it so badly, I'm going to go get it. And I don't care if that's a person, right? I don't care if that's a house. I don't care if that's a listing. I don't care if it's a vacation, a car, a shirt, a pair of shoes, a purse, a pair of sunglasses, right? Every time you ever got anything, you had to get emotionally attached and involved and committed to actually pushing the button. How many times have you looked at stuff online and said, God, I want that? I bet you, all of us, me included, have open browsing windows of stuff that's interesting to you that you haven't pulled the trigger on yet, right? Why? You're not ready and it's not exciting and important enough to you yet. It's important enough that you didn't close the window, but it's not important enough that you might even put in your shopping cart, but you didn't hit buy now. Why? Because you weren't attached, you weren't committed to it. You're browsing, you're looking, it's a possibility. So what do you actually do? Because your brain said, you don't need that. Your sunglasses are fine. I know they're scratched, but come on, princess, right? Do you really need to spend $400 on something you don't need? That's stupid, right? And then you don't. And then they sit there until you lose them, intentionally probably, but until you get a reason that's powerful enough to make something happen, right? So that's the issue that I think we really need to get into is what's going to be that next level? What can you visualize? What can you think about? What's the next level of your life? And that's a big question. Chunk it down. What could you do to your body that's better, right? Maybe it's one little thing today, but picture it. What can you do for your relationship? Could you be a little nicer to something or do something for someone today? You know you could, but did you? Right? What could you do to grow your business today? You know how. There's not one of you that doesn't know how to grow your business right now. If you do, go live right now. I'll share the screen and we're going to give you a beat down in front of everybody because you're full of crap. You know to talk to people. You know to post on social. You know to engage when they engage. You know who to talk to for sale awareness. You have the scripts. You have the audio. You have the visual. You've got a ton of videos on every topic in the planet, and you have us to push you anytime you need it. So there's no excuse for not having business right now. Zero. Except for the reason that you don't really care about enough to have the business right now, right? I talked to 7 people last week and it didn't work. Boo hoo. Sorry me. Get over it, guys. Come on. It's because you talked to 7 freaking people. Why? And you probably did a crappy job talking to those 7 people because you didn't have the reason to have it be successful because there's nothing you're committed to making it happen for. That's the issue, right? That's the issue. That's why you talk to 7 people in 7 days. Come on, right? You should be talking to 50. You would. When you have a goal that's exciting, like all I have to do is sit in the air condition in safety and talk to people and bullshit with them and see what I can do to help them. And I'm going to make $100,000 this quarter.
Where do I sign up? Right? That's the reality of what we have going on right now. It's mind-boggling, but it's not when you understand what it is. That's the purpose of today, is to say, wake up, right? Wake up. You're not going to make 20 contacts today. You're not going to post today. And even if you do, it'll be a half-assed post because you thought you were supposed to post. But where's the passion? Where's the energy? Where's the drive? Where's the reason? A call to action for yourself to do something that causes somebody else to feel attracted enough to you to pick you to handle the largest financial transaction of their life. That's the reality of it, guys. There's probably 400 people going to put their houses on the market this week, right? Between our in our markets right now, at least that's probably a very low number. Craig's probably looking it up right now, right? There's more than that. Okay. There's no shortage, and every one of you can have one. Every one of you can get a listing or 2 or 3 this week if you actually wanted one. And there's several hundred sales going to happen in this week as well. And a lot of them are people in your sphere. And a bunch of those are friends of people in your sphere. And all they have to do is think about you when they think about real estate. And all you have to do is let them know you're doing this stuff and actually put something out that's relevant, right? That shows that you care. They can trust you. You're good at what you do, and that you care about them. That's all the whole thing. But none of that's going to happen until you realize that you have every force in the planet against you to try to stop you, because none of it's necessary until it's necessary. So it goes back to the thinking big, but first is understanding the barriers that are in the way of you thinking big and acknowledging them, being grateful that they're there. I mean, I'm really glad I have a brain to pump my heart, right? And inflate and deflate my lungs, because I'm not thinking about doing either of those things. So I'm glad it is. And it's blinking for me too, which is great. So my eyes stayed moist so I could see. I'm thankful for all of those functions, but stop getting in my way of having a kick-ass vacation on a yacht, right? That's not your job, right? So let's understand its job is, I'm thankful for you doing what you're doing. Thank you, but shut up, and I'm not going to hurt us. In fact, I'm going to make something cool happen. So sit back, munch on some bananas, drunk monkey, and get out of my freaking way, right? Because I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go talk with people. I'm going to have fun. We're going to have great experiences, and we're going to have a really cool next level life. And I'm going to do it this quarter, right? Once you can visualize that, that's the whole thing. Now, how do you do it? You got to visualize it. You got to say, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this is kind of one of the things Puma started talking about last night. Talk about, and then we're going to play a quick little clip too. What else do you want to add to that?
Well, it's funny, right? So going back to the car example, I've been talking about selling my car. And so one day we're sitting there at breakfast, and my youngest goes, "Dad, why haven't you sold your car yet? I thought you were going to get a new car." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And Courtney, without even thinking about it, "No, you're not." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You don't want a new car yet." And I said, "Yeah, I do. I've been telling you." "You don't." She goes, "I've known you since you were 18 years old. If you really wanted it, it would have been done already, because that's how you operate. You don't really want it." And that, like, I literally thought about that the rest of that day, and I'm like, she's right. Like, if everything I've ever wanted, if I really want it, I go get it done. And I hadn't gotten it done, and I had been talking about it for 3 weeks, right? 2 blown tires. If all the signs were there, but I didn't want it. Literally 3 days later, I was sitting in a new car, because that switch in my head flipped. I'm like, you know what? She's right. So what do I want? But I had to go figure out what I wanted before I was willing to take the actions needed to actually do that, which was go sell my car. And 3 days later, my car was sold, right? And so I started visualizing, what am I going to drive next? And the second that I got committed to what I was going to drive next, then it was, okay, now I need to get my car sold. How am I going to get my car sold? I'm going to do this, sold through Facebook, boom, sold, done, new car, right? Now, obviously, there are still things that come with that mentally, even after the fact. But the point was, I wasn't committed to it yet, and I needed someone to call me out on my BS.
Yes, you do have a little background going on behind you there, but John just pointed that out. Yeah, but there's one extra step there. So the pain, right, started to build for your old car. It started to become a nuisance. It started to cost you time and money and aggravation, which forced the pain to cause you to take an action. Okay, this goes right in line with what we're talking about right now. You had plenty of warning signs, if you will, plenty of little cortisol bumps, things that are happening to say, you really need to get a new car, dude. Hey, Puma, these is not good, right? Until you actually had enough pain, and you're like, fine. It wasn't the pleasure, right? It wasn't the pleasure of having the new car. It was the pain of getting out of the old car, right? Which is what motivates us, either pain away from or pleasure towards. And I know it's not the pleasure towards because there's not a lot of pleasure, right? In it, right? There's a little bit of pleasure because you're supposed to have some, but I think it was more pain driven than pleasure driven. So then when the decision comes that I want a new car, then you say, okay, what kind of car do I want? What kind of car could you have had?
Oh, pretty much anything.
Okay.
Within
and
reason.
then with it, anything within reason, there's a huge spectrum. So you had to go visualize, okay, I want a car between this price and this price. I want a car in this function. Do I want a convertible Ferrari? No, not really at this stage of my life. Not really what I need right now. I'd like to have an SUV, right? Well, I'd like to have an SUV that has seating, has room for the kids and the sports, and they're taking the wife and the kids and having trips. And all these little categories came in. And you started chunking down the world. And you went from, the sort was cars. There's 10 gazillion cars on the planet. It's too big of a sort. So he goes, sports car, nope. SUV, right? Foreign or domestic, right? Color, 4-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive. Price range, availability right now, and then he got down to this little chunk of 3 or 4, and then he went and he picked one. True?
Yep.
That's what we do with everything. That's what you did with your relationships. That's what you did with your house. That's what you do with your jobs. That's what you do with your vacations, right? That's what you do with everything, because you go through the process of visualizing, getting exciting, and committing. Visualizing, getting exciting, and committed. Now, and you got excited and you committed and you got a badass car, right? And it suits all of your needs and you're happy with it. And the pain is gone, more importantly. So your drunk monkey allowed you to make this purchase because it started to become a threat, right? And this is the only, if you didn't have 2 blown out tires, you'd still be driving that car.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
You would, because the threat came in that this is not safe anymore and you love your family, right? That's the reality of it. Things are starting to go wrong. It's getting older. Now my family is at risk. Pain alert. Solve the problem. Pain gone. And it wasn't about the fanfare of a Ferrari. He could go get a Ferrari if he wanted to get a Ferrari, right? That wasn't the whole point. The whole point was to satisfy the need, but it's the visualization, the getting excited and pulling the trigger, right? So in this industry, very few people actually do the visualization. And if you don't do the visualization, there's nothing to get excited about. And if there's nothing to get excited about, there's no commitment. So that's the issue. So we're talking about visualization, and go into that clip, do a little intro on it, and then play a little background.
So first, before I play this, if there's any Viking fans in the audience, I want to apologize because this may hurt having to watch this again. But I was, me and Jeff were talking about visualization, and it just so happened that yesterday on ESPN, as I'm sitting there getting ready to watch some football, ESPN plays a clip of Russell Wilson being mic'd up for last week's game, not yesterday's game, but last week's game. And for those of you that didn't watch, he's getting they were down 13-0. The Seahawks or Vikings just were they had like 8 or 9 sacks in the first half against Wilson. I mean, they were absolutely murdering them. And Wilson was mic'd up, and I'm not a Seahawks fan by any means, but I am a big Russell Wilson fan. And just these clips, though, they immediately shot out to me because it shows the power of a visualization, which I think athletes tend to do better than almost anyone. So I'm just going to play this quick clip and show the outcome of what happened and how he used visualization to have success. So I'm going to play this.
You might want to restart that. I'm not seeing that come across very nicely here.
It's not coming across.
No, it's skipping with no audio or anything.
Really?
Yeah, you might want to take your audio out of your AirPods and then start it over.
Hear it? Could you hear that?
Yes, start it over though. Still can't hear. You got really bad audio, Puma.
All right. So, well, it's less dramatic, but the punchline is, hold on one second. You hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's the punchline. They're down 13-0. Russell Wilson literally sitting on the sideline with his offensive coordinator, and he goes, all right, we're going to go down. We're going to make it 13-7 on this next drive. Then our defense is going to get a turnover. We're going to make it 14-13, and we're going to come back and we're going to win this game, right? Literally goes down, makes it 13-7. Defense comes out, gets the turnover. He comes down, makes it 14-13. They end up getting down to a 4th and 5 with no timeouts at the end of the game. He's in the huddle and he goes, trust me, all I need is one pass. This is the play. Calls the play, boom, they win, right? So the power, though, of literally being down 13-0, sitting on the sideline, and you couldn't hear it, but he says, hey, we're not in panic mode. This is what's going to happen. We're going 13-7. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do that. Literally visualizing what his defense was going to do, what he was going to do, play by play. Not at any point did you hear him say the game's going to end at this result, right? It wasn't about the end result at that point. The point was he just needed those steps. I'm going to do this, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, right? And then boom, it happens. So you see this time and time again, especially from top athletes like Russell Wilson. Peyton Manning used to do this extremely well. But that power to visualize and keep calm and believe in what's going to happen next, and then have the confidence to go out and actually execute it. Does it always go that way? No. The Seahawks lost yesterday in overtime, right? Didn't go his way. That happens too. But putting yourself in the position and creating that right framework really matters. There was another clip I was going to play too that speaks to the power of the mind and how powerful it is. I don't know if anyone else heard it, but Matthew McConaughey was on with Joe Rogan and doing a podcast. And he asked Joe Rogan asked Matthew McConaughey what it was like mentally to go from 185 pounds down to 135 pounds for the Dallas Buyers Club. And Matthew McConaughey said one of the scariest moments he had, said it was not hard getting myself mentally prepared. He said, I just had to put myself in a bubble to get down to the 135. He said the scariest moment I had, though, was once my brain and I got committed to getting down to 135, I couldn't stop it from continuing to drop weight, even when I started eating more. So we got down to 135. I started eating more because my doctors and everyone was scared that it was dropping too much. Significantly did more. We cut exercise back, but my brain and my body was so committed to what I was doing that it continued to go south for a 2-week period and then finally started leveling out. But that to me, just when I heard that, just spoke volumes about how powerful your body really is. Right. And sometimes to correct a wrong, we want it to correct itself immediately. Right. We all get in these negative spots and we want to just flip a switch and get out of it. But it doesn't work like that. And sometimes you're going to have this little U-shaped recovery from wherever you are now to where you want to be. And that's okay. but you have to believe in the process that, okay, yep, we got to slow it down. But that just, to me, guys, the mind in your body is so powerful that when you get committed to something, good, bad, it's going to go in that direction with you once it's on, and it's not stopping, right? Only when you have the power to stop it, and sometimes it takes time.
Well, that's an important point. Let's say that you decided you wanted to drop a little bit of weight, and today was the day that you ate salads and just lean and didn't eat any crap and drank tons of water. Are you going to be skinny tonight? Nope. Are you going to be skinny tomorrow? Nope. Are you going to be skinny by Friday? Nope. Are you going to be skinny by next week? Nope. Right? But you'll start seeing some results maybe next week, right? Maybe by the end of this week, a couple little things along the way. Exact same thing with this business, right? If you just crushed it out today and you got committed and you said, watch this, 35 contacts, absentee owners, I'm not going to stop until I have these great connections. I'm going to notice, are they visual, auditory, kinesthetic? Are they Ds, ISCs? And you just nailed it. You just rocked it out. You had the best conversations ever. And a lot of people said, so great to talk with you. Think about it, and we'll give you a call back towards the end of the week. Let's say you got 20 of those conversations. You're rocking it. You're not rich yet. You don't have your vacation paid for yet. You don't have your pool. You don't have any of the stuff yet. But you did the work. You put the effort because you got committed. And then tomorrow, you still have to do some stuff. You still have to eat well, and you still have to talk with people and follow up and do your job, the fundamentals, right? That's the whole point. And then when you get committed to say this becomes that way of life, then you start to live that way. That's the whole difference, guys. This business it's so fun, right? But it's so easy. And it's so annoying because it's so easy, right? It's so easy, guys. All you have to do is talk with people. You know that. And you even know who to talk to. You even know what to say, right? And you know it's a numbers game. There's nothing in the way except for this. So all I want to make sure that we really drill home today is be fully grateful and happy exactly the way you are right now, because this is a huge important part. And Craig talks about this all the time too. You have to have the gratitude of where you are today, because it's the culmination of every moment in your entire life, right? The decisions you made in high school lead you to where your butt is sitting right now, right? It was a path with people, events, situations, some good, bads, uglies, experiences, everything rolled into one, brought you to today, and it's perfect. Perfect.
Well, I think
right?
that's a really big point, though, because sometimes after you get what you want, right, or what you set out to do, there's still mental blocks that come after that. You know, I called you after I bought the car because I felt guilty, right?
Yep.
I went through this. We all go through it. I went through a mental issue myself after I purchased the new car about being able to purchase the new car. I even called Jeff. I said, dude, I don't know how to shake this feeling, right? Because I almost feel like I don't deserve it. There's people out there. I'll never forget. I left the dealership. I'm literally pull out. I'd make a turn onto State Road 56 where I live. And at the first stoplight, there's a homeless guy standing on the corner with his dog. And literally inside, I'm like, Jesus, I just walked into a dealership and bought a $50,000 car without thinking about it. This guy doesn't know where his next meal is going to come from, right? And that shit started messing with me. Started really messing with my head. Like, man, like, I need this, right? I don't deserve this. Why me, right? Why do I get this and he doesn't? And I struggled with this. I called Jeff. I'm like, dude, I need help. Like, this is mentally messing with me. Like, how do I get through this? And honestly, Jeff helped. And then finally I had a conversation with my dad, and he said, all you really need to be is that just tells me you have gratitude for where you are, right? You're thankful for where you are, and that's good. But what do you really want to do? You want to help those people? Great. Can you help those people if you make more money? If you're more satisfied, right? Does the car make you feel better and help you be more successful? And the answer to that is honestly, yes, it does, right? It really does. When you have nice things and you're able to do those things, you feel good about it. The better you feel about yourself, the more successful you're going to be. And he reminded me of that. And then he said, the more successful you are means that's the more people you can help, right? because I do give a lot to charity, especially homelessness and all those types of things, right? So he kind of reset the framework of, listen, if you're poor too, you can't help them, right? And so when you start thinking through that, I eventually got through it. Like, okay, I do deserve this, right? I got to stop with that mindset. That's number one. I do deserve it. I've worked hard enough. I put myself in a position to do it. So I can't have that mindset. And now how do I help more people, right? And so ultimately, guys, I just want to point out that we all go through. I just went through this, so I know what it's like. So as you get success, right? Some of you are searching for that next level. And when you hit it, when you get that $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 check from a deal, you're going to sit back and there might be a moment of pause where you go, holy shit, did I really do enough work to justify this commission? Holy crap. Now, sometimes you do a deal and you're like, Jesus, this check should have been 10 times what it was, right? For the amount of work and headaches you dealt with. But you're going to really go through these mental blocks. And if you don't figure out how to work through it, that's going to be the stopping point. Or you're going to realize that, okay, I'm going through something mentally. Why? Reset, reframe, boom. Now you can still push through that mental block and continue on your path. But that's going to be a dividing moment for a lot of you if you can't figure out, because the success is not the answer. The car was not the answer, right? That's just along the journey. But the mental block that I got from that step very easily could have put you in a downward spiral, or myself in a downward spiral, versus helping get to the next of growth and development personally. So I just want to point that out.
No, I think you're right on with that, because you do feeling, guys, everything is energy and intentions, right? Everything. We talk about that a lot at Next Level University. Everything is energy, right? So if you have an energy of just like a funk, you're not going to be attractive, right, to anybody, personally or business wise, right? It's just, no one's going to want to be around you if you're in that funk. If you're not feeling good about yourself, no one wants to be around that. You know that. So when you got the new car, not that it was the magic answer, but there's a little swagger, right? The shoulders are back a little, they're a little back, they're a little higher, right? He feels good, even subconsciously, knowing that his kids are safer than they were, right? There's so many more safety features on the car you just bought than the car that you just had, right? These are the responsible things that you need to do as a parent, right? To make sure that you do these things. And it makes you feel good. When you're feeling good, people are attracted to people that are feeling good because they want to feel good too. And it's attract and repel. It's attract and repel. You repel, I repel people intentionally nonstop because I don't want to be around their energy sucks, right? And I won't even acknowledge them. Don't even just buy, right? It's too short to be around that crap, right? So you need to just think about it. But if the car makes you feel good, get the damn car, right? You could have had whatever car you wanted. That's a great car, right? There's other cars too. There's a next level car when you're ready for that one, right? But it's perfect the way it is right now, and be grateful and be thankful, and it suits your need. And that's the car you're supposed to have right now. It's perfect, right? So you watching, if you go into your car today and it doesn't have a smile on your face, go get a damn new car. 0% financing, guys. It's about as free as you can get. And you know what? If you need a little bit more money, talk to a couple more people. Problem solved, right? You want to get a better something in your house? Go get a better something in your house. Get it. That's it. You want to go on a nice vacation? Go book it. You don't have the money? Go talk to a couple of people. Guys, we do the same damn thing. We're up early, we're up late, we're talking to people nonstop, growing our business, right? That's what we do. I gave Mike a little bit of shit when he bought the car. I actually still feel bad about that, right? Saying, come on, man, right? What was the next level car? And you could have got that one too. And I was like, man, that was kind of crappy to do, but I can't help it. And that's why,
no, right? Good. We all need it though. We need that reminder.
Yeah. And the same thing. And it's not about the money, guys. It's about what happens, because it's the drive. And I'm like, hey, Mike, we get another 5 different agents. This is how it changes your life. And you know that. You get another 100 agents more. we get 500 agents for, we get 2,500 agents, we get 10,000 agents, which we're going to have, right? Because of visualization there, and you're not stopping it because we work and we're going to make it happen, right? Why? Because why not? It's a sport, it's fun, it's a game, and it creates pretty cool lifestyles. We can give some cool stuff to our families and our friends and our charities, right? That's what drives the world, and then that's why we do it. And then it's a sport. What can I do this week to grow the business faster? And then we go get a list of shit to do, and then we check off that list, and then next week we do it again. And next week we do it again. Next week we do it again. Next week we do it. Same exact thing, right? So what I want the takeaway from today to be is a few. Number one, take a moment, like right now, take a nice deep breath and just say thank you, right? Breathe in what you're breathing. Look around where you are, who you're with, what you've got, because it's perfect just the way it is. It's perfect. Not one damn thing wrong with it. It's amazing. You've worked really hard to be exactly where you are right now. Yeah, you have a couple struggles. So what? We all do. Deal with it, right? But be thankful and be grateful of where you're sitting right now, because it's awesome. Okay. Now, from that place and that place only, can you start thinking about, you know what? I'm really thankful where I am. You know what? I wouldn't mind having a little safer car for my kids. I wonder what that would be like. And that starts the motion. And that starts the web searches. And that starts the narrowing down. That starts the, 0% financing. How much would that be? Oh, $800 a month. I don't think I could do that. Shut up, drunk monkey. Right? We can do that. I make $5,000 a sale. What if we did one extra sale a month and it's a no-brainer? Shut up. You don't need to do that. Your car's just fine. Shut up, drunk monkey. Right? You see where we're doing it. And we got to get to that point of, hey, what about a cool vacation for the kids? They've never really played in snow. What if we got a ski in, ski out little thing for March, did some spring skiing over spring break? No way. You can't do that. That's expensive. That's like $10,000. You out of your mind, dumbass? Right? Shut up, drunk monkey. And then you go to your battle and you say, okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to go here. I'm going to drive here. I'm going to book this vacation. This is how I'm going to live. Right? And then you're like, shut up, drunk monkey. Right? I'm going to do it. And here's why. And then you tell your kids. And your kids get excited. You tell your wife, and your wife gets excited. Tell your husband gets excited. Tell your manager. We're like, hell yes, you can do it. Now, how many people we need to talk to? Now let's go do it. And then now you get progressive realization of a worthwhile goal. You're getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer. You have a couple crappy days, big deal. We all do. Get another one, keep going, keep going, keep going. But you got to keep talking with people to allow the gifts to start coming back to you, which are going to be the people, the processes, the events, and the places that are going to just appear.
We lost audio.
It's the thinking big. It's a visualization. What's that?
We lost audio there for a second.
Oh, that was a good rant.
We got most of it.
Cool. Visualize it, guys. How do we have the best week ever? First, love where you are on a Monday morning. Right? Love it. Breathe it in. Good, bads, uglies, and differences. It is what it is, and it's perfect. Now, what does Friday look like? The best Friday feeling you could ever possibly have. What happened this week? And then what do you have to do to cause that to happen? That's it. Let's think big, be grateful, visualize, and talk with people.
All about balance, guys. I made that post the other day, and a lot of you shared it, but it's having the only way to create balance is to pull in both directions, right? So to your point, I would start today off with a ton of gratitude and then immediately shift into hunger, right? And go after everything you want. And when you balance those two together, you're going to have nice balance in your business and your lifestyle. But you have to do both, right? If you only have gratitude for where you are, you're going to stay exactly where you are. If you only have hunger for where you want to be, you're going to forget and have some mental issues because you should be grateful for where you are. So balancing the two between gratitude and hunger creates a nice balance that you're actually going to be able to get to where you want to go and be thankful at the same time. So pull in opposite directions, go after it, and have the best week ever.
That's it, guys. You got this. You can do it. Have fun. Let us know when we can help you.